I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about small mistakes that turn people off. Well, dating can be extremely confusing, and one of the things that we've tried to really do on this channel is enlighten you on how mental health and attachment really have a massive impact on dating, long-term relationships, and even attracting people. See, what we don't understand is that our insecurities and our attachment traumas and unmet needs from our childhood often cause us to behave in a way that slowly and subtly turn people off. And you have to be aware of these mistakes if you're going to really attract somebody that you're really crazy about, right? And that you really think you have a great connection with. You know, a lot of times in the dating world, the person that you're attracted to may have a bunch of other people that are also attracted to them. And so what you'll see is that by changing your behavior to more attractive behavior, that you can really have a chance with somebody that you never thought you'd have a chance with guys or women that absolutely blow you away, but you have to blow them away too. And that's why I've created the workbooks and the creative healing course to help you work through your attachment issues. Because if you don't, you're going to be blinded, you're not going to realize it, and the people that you're really crazy about, those are going to be the people that you mess up with. Okay? What I see often is that you guys will date somebody, you're not that crazy about them, not that interested, and you do just fine. But with the people that you are really interested in and attracted to, you don't know how to handle it. So you got to get a handle on those attachment issues. And if you don't believe me, you can find out the hard way, like I see time and time again. Do the work. Do the workbooks over and over again. Do the creative healing course. Do it again. Do it again. Heal those attachment issues, because you're going to become so much more confident. You're going to recognize other people's attachment issues, and you're going to know how to attract those people and at least minimize a lot of easy mistakes that you could, ruin a situation with somebody that it's going really well by minimizing those mistakes. But as soon as you start to get attached to those people, those attachment issues are going to come up. And if you don't work through them, you'll see what happens. So today I got an email coaching that's going to show some of what I'm talking about. Now, it gets pretty wild towards the end of this email coaching, but I really liked that there were a bunch of different things that I could address up front. So make sure you watch to the end to see how wild this gets, because some really unusual behavior happens. So this is from a guy in his mid-20s, and the girl is just a little bit younger. And they've been dating for about 3 months, okay? He said there were two major problems. Now, they only dated 3 months, so how do you have two major problems in that short amount of time, right? He said his anxiety and timing, okay? And he said the breakup reason was not fully understood. Well, I've been doing this a long time, so I see these things before you even write very much. I mean, it's already telling to me that anxiety and timing here, it's a lot more about anxiety and a lot less about timing. Okay, that's what I suspect. I did this one a while ago, but I put it off to the side. That's what I often do with my email coachings. I find something, I put a whole bunch to the side, and then I pull them back out when I'm going to do a coaching. Sometimes you guys ask me, how do I do my email coachings? Or how do I do my videos for email coachings? It's somebody that did an email coaching with me. And if I see something in there that I think, oh, this is really good, this can help you guys, I pull it off to the side and save it for later. So they go on to say, at the beginning of the year, I met a girl on a dating app. And initially, she was the one to do most of the chasing. All right, so we see the dynamic. She's really interested in him. Let's see what happens. It was a slightly long distance relationship, about a 1-hour drive from each other. We went on fun dates and had a good time together. All right, so an hour, not horrible, obviously not great, depending upon your work schedule, but an hour's not too bad. We spoke on the phone every night for hours. All right, so there's a mistake already. Okay, I know it doesn't feel like it, and it's like, wait, what? Why is that a mistake? Unfortunately, spending too much time on the phone actually kills attraction. Okay? And this also goes for trying to re-attract an ex. That sometimes you guys will stay on the phone way too long with an ex. That's not the goal. You want to create attraction in person on dates. Okay? I know you really like this person, you're really excited about it, and you just kind of can't help it. Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You have to help it. You've got to stop it. Because if you don't, you're going to find that a lot of your relationships are going to fall apart quick. Unfortunately. But that's just the way that it is, right? So, they spent hours on the phone every night. I quickly felt a strong connection. She brought up topics of children, engagement rings, and moving jobs and houses for each other. Okay, this is way too soon, okay? The whole relationship only lasted 3 months. This is not the time to be talking about those things. This is a time to spend time getting to know each other, having fun, and seeing what that person is really like. And it takes a hell of a lot longer than 3 months. You don't have to believe me. You can see what happens for yourself. It takes time to get to know people. Attachment issues come out, but they don't come out at 3 months unless it's somebody who's got really serious attachment issues, right? Healthy people are more secure and confident and are able to maintain that kind of behavior and attitude longer into the relationship. Whereas people that really struggle with attachment trauma and they've maybe been abused or abandoned, all kinds of horrible things, they tend to fall apart quickly. Like the girl I told you about before, where she told me she loved me 3 times on the second date, right? Those are the things that happen. And you have to be aware of it, because if you're not, you'll turn people off that you really like. So here's another mistake. I spoiled her with flowers and gifts, and they always pleased her. I wanted to make sure she knew I truly cared. You are only together for what? A month and a half, 2 months at this point? You don't know her very well. And while it might be nice to do something like that every once in a while to show somebody you care, if you do it too much, you're going to get dumped. And some people are going to disagree and say, oh, I would love a guy who would do that. I would love that. Yeah, and then those guys do it and you dump them. Okay, ask me how I know. I'm on the other side of this. So trust me when I tell you, it's okay to give gifts and flowers and stuff like that, but not this early into the relationship. It just overwhelms people, and it makes them feel like, oh my gosh, this person likes me so much. And it just can be too much, okay? He said, we got intimate, but never had an official title of dating. She said she wanted to, but only after meeting my parents, which never happened. The weekend she was supposed to meet them, they contracted COVID. That stinks. I'm assuming she told you the truth. Could have been an excuse, because we're going to see what happens. We had one minor argument, which I did my best to repair the next day. I bought her an expensive bag and flowers to apologize over a minor argument. This is too much. I know it seems like the nice thing to do. It just turns people off, okay? He says, I know, needy. I felt that things went back to normal. Maybe it felt like that to you, but I'm willing to bet that you were overwhelming her with too many gifts and things already, and really early into a relationship or dating. 2 weeks later, she started to change her style of communicating. The emojis became less. She stopped initiating phone calls, then wouldn't answer mine, saying she would call back. So you see what I'm saying? Look at the behavior and look at her behavior. That's why I'm trying to get you to understand subtle things cause attraction to go poof. All right? And I cannot stress this enough. If you don't work through your own attachment issues, this will be you. Maybe not this extreme with buying expensive bags and flowers 24/7, but these mistakes will happen. Eventually, taking hours to respond to text, there came a point where she hadn't responded in nearly 30 hours. So why do you think that is? He's coming on too strong. He doesn't know her that well. And it takes time to get to know somebody. I went to her house to ask her what's going on and collect my things. So here you see it. His anxiety was so high that he decides to just intrude and show up to her house. Do not do this. Do not do it during a breakup. Do not do it for any reason unless you want to get dumped. It makes people feel like they're hiding from Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? You don't want that kind of reaction. All right. She said her ex had been stalking her, showing up at her house, and she felt it was unsafe for us to continue. So let's look at the parallels here. Her ex is stalking her, and now you're stalking her. Okay? Because you just showed up at her house the way he was. Okay? Don't do these things. I know you guys get a lot of anxiety, and I'm not trying to beat you up about it. I'm trying to help you correct yourself so you don't do these things, okay? It can be very tempted to drive by somebody's house because you miss them a lot, but many people get caught. Many people get seen by neighbors or just bad timing and they get caught, and then what do you think it does to their chances? It really hurts them in a big, big way. All right. She said we can only be friends right now and the timing isn't right. The timing isn't right? Okay, well, let's get some more info, shall we? I accepted friendship. I was confused because she had been ignoring me instead of telling me what was going on. What was going on? Well, you were coming on too strong. That's what was going on. I know that is a big part of this. But also, I wouldn't accept friendship from somebody that you're interested in romantically. You're not going to be happy, okay? Don't settle for less, okay? You're not always going to get 100% of what you want from everybody. But, settling for friendship when you want romance, you'll just be miserable. You want to really be friends while she's talking to you about the new guy she's dating? No. He goes on to say, I wasn't sure if this was the truth. I only found out then that she had been engaged to him and split up 2 months prior to us meeting. Now do you see why I say you have to take your time? This guy is living in a fantasy land of how wonderful and great and amazing she is. And don't get me wrong, this happens to us because we have all these chemicals released and we feel amazing. But this is what happens. She was engaged to somebody else and just ended the engagement 2 months prior, and he had no idea. And this guy, this other guy, we don't even know what's going on with him. He's driving by, he's stalking, he's probably watching my channel, right? If he's stalking, maybe he's watching some other channels that I won't name. She was then hot and cold over the next 3 weeks. I decided to start no contact when she ignored my last message. Well, yeah, if somebody's ignoring you, I wouldn't keep chasing them. And, you know, she's telling you that timing was bad. She's already said she only wants to be friends. And now you've just found out she's engaged or was engaged to somebody else 2 months ago. 2 weeks went by and she blocked me on everything out of the blue. Well, that really is confusing, isn't it? I mean, he's like, I haven't even reached out, and now she's blocking me. Wonder what she did it for. Was she hiding something? Possibly. Seems reasonable, right? He says, I was broken. The very next day, I received a friend request from her ex, and I asked him why he added me. He said he wanted information regarding our sexual history together. I initially declined as it's personal. He kept insisting and said he will tell me what's going on if I told him. I caved and told him everything. Not good. Not good. Who knows what kind of drama this started. He said they are working to get back together, and she still has feelings for him. Maybe. Maybe not. Right? Because she didn't say that. An hour later, I regretted that decision and felt terrible. I unsent the messages as I realized they would hurt her. She messaged me 3 days later to tell me that they are not getting back together and to not reply to him anymore. All right, so this is a little confusing, right? He says he unsent the messages, but then it almost seems like she did get the messages, or he did get the messages, right? Because why would she message him 3 days later to say out of nowhere, we're not getting back together, not to reply to him anymore? So it's a little bit confusing if he got the messages or not. But what can you do? I sincerely apologized, wished her the best, and blocked him. She never said she accepts my apology. All she said was, no worries, it is what it is. I might have said to her, so how come you didn't tell me you were engaged just 2 months ago? I think that's a little concerning on her part, don't you? This woman is planning on marrying this guy, and she doesn't even tell you he existed? Incredibly immature, right? After 7 weeks of being blocked, I noticed that I was unblocked on Facebook and Instagram. WhatsApp, however, is still blocked. Okay. A few days later, she sent me a follow request on Instagram. I excitedly, see, that's kind of telling, right? Despite everything that she's done and put him through here and not told him a major aspect of something going on in her life, an engagement just ending, he's still excited about this woman. I excitedly accepted it a few hours later. You know, for like 1 hour and 59 minutes, he was staring at it like, don't accept yet. Don't be too eager. Not too eager. No, no. And then he held out for 2 hours, right? After 10 hours of this, she posted a picture almost holding hands with a new guy. Not the ex. So much for bad timing, right? She said it was bad timing. But what I said was bad behavior. So, could it have been bad timing? Sure, it's possible. But this is only 7 weeks later, not even 2 months later. And she's adding you or asking to follow you on Instagram. Then she posts this picture, almost holding hands. What does that mean, almost holding hands? She like doing like E.T., they're like trying to touch fingers. I mean, it sounds to me like it was upsetting enough that it looked intimate enough that it is like she's rubbing it in your face. However, a few days later, I saw her Tinder profile appear while I was swiping. It showed that she had been active within 24 hours. So maybe she isn't exclusive with the man in the photo after all. Or maybe she's exclusive with all of you. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with this woman? This is some immature behavior, though. She's kind of all over the place. Do you think she posted the photo to hurt me or make me jealous? You know, it's hard to know people's motives sometimes. I mean, what reason would she have to hurt you? Maybe she was upset that you told the guy something, if he did get those messages and she was trying to get back at you. I suppose that's a possibility. You know, it's hard to know why she would do that. People can really do some bizarre things sometimes. Either way, it's immature. And even if you don't know the intention behind it, it still doesn't change the fact of what she's done, which is, you know, come out of an engagement and a month or two, maybe even sooner, it's hard to say, you didn't say exactly, into dating you, she's talking about marrying you. Maybe she dated that guy for 3 months too. Who knows with this woman? Mutual friends have confirmed that this was the first time she posted any mail since we had split. What would you recommend? Well, okay. First of all, I would say it's more important for you to get to a good place within yourself, that you're not so eager and swept up into people that you don't really know. You gotta work on those attachment issues. Now, I do know he sent an email after this that said he is doing the workbooks now and he's realized he's in therapy and he's working on this issue, so that's great. That's what we're here to help you with, enlightening yourself. The workbooks will do that. The creative healing course is even more incredible, and it also includes the workbooks. So do those 30 minutes a day and it's truly going to change your life. You won't have competition because nobody that you date is going to find somebody that understands dating the way that you do. When you've worked through your attachment issues, you're going to learn the skills to be a better partner, that you don't get so swept up into somebody that you don't know. Because if you don't do this kind of work that I'm talking about, you're going to wind up attaching to people that you really don't know. They're kind of strangers. And then you'll wind up with a broken heart again. And that hurts. Okay, so I'm telling you from firsthand experience, please stay committed to the growth. Okay, this woman, I would be extremely careful with her. And unless and until she acted like a real adult and communicated, you know, this is what's going on, this is what's happened, and, you know, actually shows you like she's going to be a responsible person, I wouldn't trust her. I mean, she was engaged to somebody and she didn't even tell you about it. And why is this guy stalking her? I mean, what happened with their breakup? Who knows what kind of volatility is going on there? And then there's another guy in the picture, right? And she's on dating apps too. So she's all over the place. She's talking about, or she was going to marry this guy, and she's going to marry you. Maybe this guy she's doing ET fingers with, she's going to marry him too. I don't know, man. But you got to love yourself and respect yourself enough that you get to a good place and you realize that you're going to be tested when you really start to like somebody, to make these subtle mistakes that he did up front. I'd much rather him have made these mistakes with this woman than with somebody that winds up being likely to be a really good partner in his future. Because we don't know anything about this other engagement. Maybe they've been together for years and she's not ready to date somebody new, right? Or not ready for a commitment, yet she's talking about it. Marriage and kids and moving in together. They broke up at 3 months, so, you know, figure it out. But I'd be extremely careful here. I wouldn't trust this woman. I would have to see a lot of maturity and communicating on her end before I would even consider taking things slow. But I don't think you're going to get that from her. She's all over the place. She may have even added you on social media just to get back at you and hurt you. Maybe it caused some drama with the other guy. Hard to say. But You want somebody that's going to be great for you and bring a lot of value and joy into your life and happiness. You have fun together and you look forward to spending time together. And I know you felt that, but you really didn't know her that well. And it wasn't very long before you see all kinds of major red flags here. Okay, so do the work. It pays off in re-attracting your ex. It pays off in attracting new people. I know a lot of you guys feel like you struggle to stay motivated when you don't think your ex is going to come back. But let me tell you something. They often come back when you least expect them. And even if they don't, think about it. If they don't, you're still going to blow away the new people that you date. All right? So hopefully you found this video helpful. Of course, you can get my help personally on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.